Howdy. My name is Derek William Sturm, and this is my book, Will of the Wisps. I am not a professional voice actor, but I am the author. Will of the Wisps is not yet published. It is a YA novel intended to be the first of a series. Please share and enjoy.
Tuesday, October 23rd, Chapter 57. Read. I should be the one to break into the police station. I mean, if anyone is going to break into the police station, it should be me. Franky is just like, well, Shawn says men protect women, and Thomas seems to agree as far as that applies to Franky, though I'm not sure Thomas is as good at this stuff as I used to think. I told the others we needed Shawn to find the holes in our plans, but even Mia refuses to let another person in on the conspiracy. They call it a conspiracy. Can you imagine? Conspiracy is a word for stuff bad people do. Villains. And we're not villains. We're the good guys. Well, I am. You're quiet, Shawn says, looking up from his phone. Usually you only stop talking to shove food in your mouth. I'm a growing boy. He actually closes his phone and sets it down. I'm a bit worried about you, man. You've been weird ever since you started working on this graphic novel. Weirder, anyway. I guess, what do I mean? Shawn slides his fries over to me. He must be really concerned. And you ain't growing, Reid. You're starting to look like Skeletor. I guess I need help figuring out what my hero is supposed to do next. You did the power origins, right? I nod. Play and experimentation? I nod again, trying not to look at the fries, in case he didn't actually mean to give them to me. Introduce the main villain? Yup, I say. He's like a mind-controlled dude, so you can't get too close to him, and he has all these normal people turned into zombie soldiers. Which caught your boy off guard? He killed one. Of the zombies, I mean. And, well, he didn't kill one, a friend of his did. But he feels like super guilty about it because it was just a normal person. You got a team now? Not exactly. This is safe, right? Shawn thinks this is all a story, so why not tell him the whole thing? My hero found a pre-existing group that all get their powers from the same place, a sort of like power store where you buy them. And it's the other group that was already battling Mindbreaker. Mindbreaker? I like that. Shawn smiles. Not sure about the power store idea. Who runs the store? Like an invisible creature, and it's not really a store, it's just a bunch of floating creatures. More than one? Yeah. So they're the real bad guys then. What? No. They don't know any better. They're like children. Nah, fam. They're the bad guys. But it's fine to wait to reveal that. The real bad guy is never the one you show in the beginning. I kind of wanted it to be more like real life, not some comic book formula. Screw formulas. This is like real life. Shawn's eyes flash, and I can tell he's about to go off on one of his political rants again. His parents are both lawyers, which is why they got such a nice house. And why Shawn gets such a big allowance on top of the money they give him to buy lunch. In real life, he sneers, using a mocking voice, who do you think the bad guys are? Because they're not drug addicts and dealers and pickpockets and robbers. Of course they are. They hurt people. Nah, criminals are the victims, man. Wake up. You want to know who the real villains are? The real villains are the ones that create their economic desperation. I can hear Shawn's mom's voice in my head when he says economic desperation. Like it's some sort of vocab term they drilled into him at the dinner table. Which, I'm not saying Shawn is stupid. He's the smartest kid I know. Sometimes he gets like this, though. I'm poor, but my moms don't run around robbing banks. Not yet. And that's just because they're not desperate enough. Listen, eventually, everyone has a line. Maybe you need braces or something, or like they wrecked their car and need a new one. Point is, People get poor enough, they start seeing the chances they have to pull themselves out of it, and doing crimes to get there doesn't seem so bad. That's not true. People have, like, lines, but those are lines they won't cross. Like my hero won't kill. Shawn laughs. The Batman code? I thought you were striving for realism here. What's wrong with having morals? Pastor Reynolds says, to hell with Pastor Reynolds. Shawn! Sorry, Miss Purvance. Listen, man, it's all those people in power that want you to fear sinning. They want you to be scared of taking their stuff because it's all their stuff. If you had all the money and toys, you would design a world where the worst thing you can do is take your stuff away. Get it? People with power don't care about liquor stores getting robbed. They care about taxes on Dom Perignon. If you were the bad guy with all the power, you would want the good guys to think killing is something only bad people do, because that means you get to sleep without being afraid of dying. Cops kill, right? Yeah, but only when they have to. Are you stupid? The internet is full of videos of cops shooting people with no weapons because they look like we do. Black lives are cheap to them. That's in, like, big cities, though. I protest, but it's weak. I'm thinking of the guy I saw pulled over on the first night we went out. How the cop drew his gun when walking up to his car. How he punched him in the back when he was putting on the handcuffs. Mama Irma got pulled over once for a broken taillight, and it was the same. She didn't get punched, but the cop had her gun drawn before she'd even gotten out of the patrol car. And that was for a broken taillight. Shawn, who had taken my silence as an opportunity to finish his burger, eyes me with an unreadable expression. Have the fries, man. Thanks. Okay, so listen. Either the cops are good, and killing people who are committing crimes is also good, in which case you can have your dude punch off Mindbreaker's head with zero issue. Or the cops are evil, corporate tools protecting the property of rich white people who create crime in the first place by not paying people enough money. So which is it? No one makes someone else rob a gas station with a gun. Except that's exactly what Mindbreaker does, right? He makes people commit crimes. Yeah, he had a zombie kill a girl. And he's a white dude. Yeah? In a rich neighborhood? I sigh. Richest in town. But you live in the richest neighborhood in, our town, and you're darker skinned than I am. Finally, I won an argument with Shawn. Yeah, I don't live in the ghetto like you. I wonder why. Is it because my parents are smarter than your moms? More naturally talented? Or is it because your moms are still following that obey all the rules the white man sets for you slave brain? Dude! Admit it, Reid. Even with all the people at your church whispering about the scandal of your moms being lesbians, they still want to fit in and be good little Jesus lovers. Dude, I am not poor because of my religion. They're related, though. It's like your moms are all about following the rules, and one of the rules is you go to church and be all meek and humble and stuff. And another rule is you work hard for your boss and not complain that you barely feed your kid. And another rule is you don't break laws just because you're desperate. It's all the same brain rot. My parents escaped that brain rot. That's why we have money. They make their own rules. I only met you in the first place because my grandparents insisted on taking me to church. Until Pastor Reynolds told them that you weren't welcome. Yeah, the man can't handle my realness. But Pastor Reynolds is black. A lot of cops are too. He looks at me evenly, letting that annoying, slow smile spread across his face. What did you call the people that Mindbreaker uses to carry out his evil deeds? Zombies. Here in the real world, no one needs to buy superpowers from invisible stores. Turning people into zombies is easy. People are begging to be turned into zombies, to be seen by their bosses and the copses. One of the good ones. To betray their own kind. Don't be a zombie, Reid. Chapter 58. Thomas. For the first time since Two Flowers gave me the power to, quote, unquote, understand the motivations of women, I cannot read Franky. She's usually looking for a hug, or some sort of control over the situation. Over me, over the group, which is fine. Believe me, I know what it's like to feel like you have no control over anything or anyone, especially yourself. But today... I can get in there. I can do this, she repeats. And she looks confident enough. Capable, too. But her motivation is fear. I know she's afraid. How can she be afraid and confident? Amber's motivation is to calm her down. Luke, well, I can't magically read him like girls, but he's been quiet since the bell rang for lunch. Franky, Amber says slowly, taking her hand. No one is saying you can't get in to see the guy that killed Lisa. Franky winces at Lisa's name, and I sense a surge of shifting to a desire to keep a secret. It's just not a necessary risk. If he was capable of answering questions about Caleb, then he would have already told everything to the police. Luke nods. I think we can assume Caleb used his powers to ensure none of his zombies would betray him. Which is good for us, actually. Worst case scenario might be a bunch of police officers going and trying to arrest him. Then he'd just have better foot soldiers. Trained ones. With guns. Franky pulls away from me and leans into Amber's shoulder, crying. She's actually crying. My brain keeps telling me how competent she is. Like, when you look at someone's stance and expression and all that other stuff and you make tiny judgments about them, weak or strong, passive or aggressive, smart or stupid. And all I'm getting is that Franky is the woman for the job. Whatever the job is, that she can do it. I want to put all my faith in her. But how can I be getting that out of her posture if she's literally hanging off of Amber and crying? Something is wrong here. Amber is also being weird. Her motivation is to let Franky go? But not physically let her go, like she wants to give up on something. Give up on some emotion or plans or both. Too many secrets. I text Franky, hoping to keep it on the down low, but Luke's eyes immediately make the connection when her phone chimes. She has a special notification for texts from me. I forgot about that. So, Amber found some info about him, Luke says, after it's clear Franky isn't going to check her message from me. I did, Amber says, blushing and giving Franky a tiny push off her and onto me. I can tell she hated doing it. Does Amber not like me? So Morris Hinkle is a claims adjuster, which is apparently some sort of accounting thing, but for insurance. Pay well? I ask. Yeah, I think so. Kind of job you wear a suit for. I found his mugshot, and he looks like a Wall Street guy in it. But blank eyes. Creepy blank eyes. She sends the image so we can all get a look at it. I can see what she means. There is nothing in his expression at all. Can we use this to identify other zombies? Luke asks. The expression. Maybe, Amber says. We should at least text the group chat if we see anyone else with the blankness. I feel Franky stiffen under my arm and I realize she's finally read the text I sent earlier. I sent it pretty fast, so it might not be the most subtle. You made another trade, but I won't say anything if you want. Amber continues. He's 38 and divorced. Based on the ex-wife's social media, she took their daughter with her back to Washington, where her parents live. His too. So he's all alone in his house now. Well, obviously he's not in his house. He's at the police station. But you know what I mean. Any priors? Luke asks. Prior arrests, I mean. Franky is texting now. I put my phone on silent before she finishes, so it's not obvious. Nope, not unless it was cleared from his record because he was a kid or something. Franky finishes her message and tenses up, pulling away from me. I expected her to do that after reading my message, but she didn't. Hold on, Franky starts, holding up her hand to get the others to shut up. Where is the address? Sacagawea, Amber reads off her phone. 638. Franky pales. Isn't that near you, Amber? Maybe, She brings up a map on her phone. Yeah, it is, and it's... How close to the Austin Guard's house? 2 blocks, opposite direction from mine. I swear. So does Luke. The girls take their turns as well. He's expanding, Luke says, which, of course, no one needed to hear. It's the opposite direction, Amber, Franky says, now comforting her. We don't know he'll move toward your parents. We don't know that. We do, Luke says, barely above a whisper, but we all hear him. He didn't leave town when we caught him. He didn't even move across town. Why would he? He's just building an army. He'll try and keep the circle of zombies around him, put himself in the middle. It's just a matter of time. Everyone in the Heights will get taken eventually. So we don't have much time, I say. I have something to tell everyone. Franky looks at me. She is determined, but the fear is still there. Somehow, it seems to match better than before. I made another trade. Earlier, before the rules. Amber reaches out to grab her hand, but stops herself and pulls back. The motivation not to cry surging around her. Franky looks at me. It was after you asked me out, I promise, but... it was before our first date. It's all right, I tell her. You don't need to worry about my reaction. I traded away my ability to remember dead people. Like anyone who was dead, I thought it wouldn't matter much because I barely remember my grandparents anyway. I was only 6 when the last one died. Franky pauses, and Amber squeaks slightly, bringing up her hand to cover her mouth. Franky nods. Yeah, I can't remember Lisa. No matter how hard I try, or how much I look at her Instagram. Nothing. And what power did you ask for? Luke asks, his eyes hard and steady. I asked... She looks at me nervously. I asked for the power to appear however I want to people. Like, I was getting my dad's car by appearing responsible and respectful. And you made yourself look more beautiful for our date? I ask. Yes. I'm so sorry, Thomas. You don't have to apologize. I already thought you were beautiful, Franky, because you are beautiful. She smiles gratefully, and I risk a joke. Talk about a waste of a power. That's why you're so sure you can get in to see Hinkle, Luke guesses. Yeah, It worked on Caleb. Only reason I got away from him without being turned into a zombie, I think. You should tell Mia and Reid, Luke says, after a moment. I'm not sure about that, Amber says, fidgeting with her phone. They're kids. They might feel like they need to get new powers too. Franky squeezes Amber's arm and shakes her head. No, Luke is right. We need to share everything. Total honesty. All our powers out on the table, to start. I figured it out last night. Our only real advantage over Caleb is that there are more of us. We have to work together in order to stop him. The more people that we trust to think about what powers we have and how to use them, the better. Mia and Reid might see a way to use my power that the rest of us miss. But we don't let more people in. That's important. Reid is already looking to recruit that friend of his. We need a solid front on this for the kids. No new powers or people except those we decide absolutely necessary. As a group. As a group, I intone, flashing back to Little League and other stupidity my father used to make me do. I put my hand out face down and watch as they all put their hands in and repeat the phrase. Man, I feel like such a nerd. The thought makes me smile. Reid would be so upset if he knew he missed this. Chapter 59. Caleb. The woman who lives across the street has returned. She was faster on the uptake than the others, asking her husband if he was on drugs before she'd even taken her coat off. I was forced to yell "stop" as her first command in order to avoid injury. She swung an umbrella at my head when I'd emerged. Didn't hesitate. What is wrong with women these days? My mother would have never taken such an accusing tone with my father. She would have taken his silence as a cue to start dinner and let him be alone with his thoughts. And the other one. The thrall I sent after Lisa Van Kirk. He told me his wife wouldn't ask questions no matter what I forced him to do. that she would stay in Seattle and brag about how smart she was to get away. What kind of person marries someone, pledges to love and obey, then breaks their promise with such finality? The only answer is entitlement, selfishness, taken to extremes. Like the young woman that lied to me about her name. It was not Lisa Van Kirk. I saw her picture on the news. More evidence that I am right. The tall boy with the gun, and the dark-skinned girl who lies. Their pet monster. They learned about me and want me dead. They probably think they're entitled to their guns and lies and murderous intent, but I am not. Because I am not them. It's disgusting the level of selfishness the young display. Their generation isn't even getting married. They're beyond breaking vows, beyond obedience or common decency. But I'm beyond them. I have 14 thralls now, not counting the one held by police. Tonight, some family called the Pattersons are coming over at the invitation of the man who has been so useful to me in understanding this neighborhood. This will give me 4 more. They have 2 children. The question is whether or not these other children are still a threat to me. Normal kids, even those with firearms, are not to be feared. But these possess a monster. Demon, do you make your deals with other people? I do not feel its breath this time, but its mocking, savage voice is all too close.
My clients stretch back across the ages. I've traded with lunatics, maidens, and sages. If accusations made against me are true, then I have enslaved more people than you.
Then perhaps it's time we share a thrall, demon. I motion to the boy to come forward. The other 2, man and woman both, sharpen in their expression and demeanor. The thralls are like that, bland as sheep most of the time, but suddenly struggling. They try to break from my control, but they cannot. I have tested this under the most extreme circumstances, with the first 2. They did not want to hurt each other, but they did so regardless, struggle as they might in their eyes. Boy, I order you to repeat after me. The boy nods. Demon. Demon, the thrall says. I want to make a trade. I want to make a trade, the thrall says. The breath is back on my neck and its hideous cackle in my ears. I focus my will on ignoring the creature, while I force the boy to become a thrall greater than the others. I had been striving for quantity before. Now it was time to focus on quality. The rules of life are simple. Only the fittest survive.
Chapter 60, Mia. Do we get to be higher level? I played a one-shot campaign last summer at level 20, and it was awesome. Allison is a total power gamer, always complaining about how slowly we get levels and loot in the normal game we play on Saturday, and Myra often gives her what she wants. Allison is bigger than the rest of us, height and everything, and she'd be scary. Not exactly, Reid mumbles, ducking down behind the DM screen. He's freaking out. It's all pre-made characters, I announce, kicking Allison under the table and giving her my best imitation of my mom's death glare. It's realistic, so we won't be playing standard rules. It's just like regular people with a few special powers and abilities. No levels. Sounds good to me, Moira laughs. I'll play anything as long as someone else is willing to be the dungeon master. Even Reid? Jessie Wen teases, and Reid freezes again, shuffling the note cards we wrote all the character stuff on. She's not even that pretty. Not like Kaylee, though she's the only girl in school with a pierced nose because her parents let her do anything, which is pretty cool. And she's super skinny, which Franky seems to think is important. Pass them out, I remind him, and he does. Boys are stupid. But, this was a pretty good idea, I guess. Reid figured out a way to get input from other people without putting anyone else at risk. Even Luke didn't need to be convinced, and he hates everyone's ideas. If you were like, hey, Luke, I got this rocket launcher that seeks out only the most evil and dangerous people in town and blows them up, he would be like,
Well, what is evil anyway? Can you define it? How would you know it will hit Caleb? And what are the long-term concussions? And blah, 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 blah. Reid finally hands out his sheets, and Jessie is super annoyed. My power is seeing in the dark? Lame. And wisps, I tell her. You can see invisible stuff too. We had to combine Luke and Amber because there weren't enough people to play otherwise. And yeah, they aren't as powerful as the rest of us. What's a wisp? It's like a fairy. That's where the powers come from. I like fairies, Kaylee says. Can I be a fairy? No, Reid answers her, checking his notes. You're Almada. You have the power to heal people by taking their injuries, then shoot your injuries into others with a magic bow. Plus you have perfect balance. Princess Almada, I correct him. She gets 3 powers? That's not fair. All I do is see fairies. Jessie crosses her arms and pouts. It's amazing to me she's able to wear all that black lipstick without getting any on her teeth. And in the dark, Moira reminds her. Also, isn't this supposed to be an urban fantasy setting? My character has a gun. Why would there be a princess in real life? Moira is still wearing her uniform. She goes to that all-girls private school that dresses everyone up like they're anime characters. Her parents won't even let her pierce her ears. She's a secret princess, I say, on the fly. Moira shrugs and begins to draw her character, who Reid named Durango the Silencer. She draws all her NPCs and the monsters from her game. It's really cool. Jessie and I end up switching. So now she's playing Franky, aka Tabitha, and I'm playing Amber/Luke, aka Henrietta, and Allison is playing Stygian Knight, Princess Almada's sworn protector, which she is pretty pleased with because Allison likes to play tanks. Which is anyone that can take a lot of damage while dealing it out. Okay, so you guys are a secret organization that protect the world from evil fairies and the people they give powers to, Reid starts. Fairy cops. Got it, Allison says, and we all laugh. Moira pulls out her imaginary gun and blows the wings off an imaginary Tinkerbell. Yeah, sure, fairy cops. And there's this bad one in town now, in Oni. Why does the bad fairy have to be Asian? Jessie demands, but we shush her. And he's given his powers to Mindbreaker, a man who can control anyone just by speaking orders. Ho ho ho, Moira chortles. Prepare to be silenced, Mr. Mindbreaker. Do we know where his hideout is? Kaylee asks. Yes and no, Reid answers. You're reasonably sure about the general area, a neighborhood where a lot of people are becoming zombies, but you don't know which house he is in or how many zombies he has. The girls get to work comparing the abilities and equipment on their sheets. It says here I have unlimited money, but no good contacts, Moira asks. Reid nods. Yeah, and you have to shop in regular stores. Thomas had told us to go ahead and put something on his card about his dad trusting whatever he says, and Luke suggested that we change it to money because we don't want to get him too involved. Thomas is going to be personally delivering pizzas later using the same ability. If I could control my dad, I'd probably be buying more than just a few pizzas. Do we know what Mindbreaker looks like? Jessie asks. Reid checks his papers behind the screen. Yep, he's 5'9", white, brown hair and eyes, wears a lot of khaki, no armor or weapons visible. Okay, because it says Tabitha can use her powers to look confident or trustworthy or beautiful or other stuff. She could just go door to door and look innocent and harmless, right? Yeah, but Mindbreaker knows what she looks like, too. He's seen everyone but Henrietta and Almada. Princess Almada, me and Kaylee correct him at the same time. Just send Henrietta then, Allison suggests, rolling her dice. She always rolls through her 20-sided dice at the start of each session to see which one is going to give her the best results that day. Moira keeps telling her they're all random, but Allison seems to roll more critical hits than anyone, so I don't know. It's like, if Wisps are real, then other stuff could be real too, right? But Henrietta doesn't have any powers, Kaylee protests, grabbing my arm defensively, because I'm the one playing Henrietta. I mean, any powers to stop her from getting controlled and not being sus. I like it, Jessie laughs. She's great bait because she has no powers. Serve her up. We're not sacrificing my character. Whoops, that was a close one. Why not? Allison asks, finally finding the dice she likes. Moira, you can buy a bunch of explosives, right? Like fertilizer and stuff? Let's just send Henrietta in with a bomb. Or Tabitha even, if looking innocent is better than not being recognized. I could do it, Moira says, chewing her pencil. I mean, with the silence ability, I could totally set off a bomb without being mind-controlled. Chapter 61. Amber. This is not good. This was a terrible idea. I immediately start typing out a message to Thomas telling him that under no circumstances is he allowed to become a suicide bomber. But both Luke and Franky beat me to it. We're all listening to the kids playing through Reid's laptop, but everyone is at their own house, except Thomas. Thomas, who has talked his dad out of a car and pizza money and is roaming the streets unchecked. Thomas, who has no fear, who feels guilty, who wants to protect Franky. This is not good.
I can go and speak with him, Mother.
Please do. That will have to be enough. Our text warnings and Two Flowers doing a whole angel shoulder routine on Thomas will have to be enough. One of the middle schoolers makes another joke about me being worthless and they all laugh. Well, Henrietta being worthless, which is Luke and me. I should have probably told him about my other trade. Would it matter? Reid's voice comes in over my earbuds. I want to remind you that some of the zombies in the past have had guns, and none of you know how much money and stuff Mindbreaker has to spend. Do any of the zombies have powers? Asked one of the girls. I'm not sure which. No, they're just like regular people, mostly rich people. Then he has way more money than we do. That one was Moira. Wait, hold on. You said we could make more trades, right? You can make more trades, Reid answers, but you might not like the price. Poco is with them. Her role in all this is to give Reid realistic prices for any new abilities the middle schoolers brainstorm. Then Mindbreaker zombies will absolutely have powers. My blood runs cold. Jesse's right, Moira says. If Mindbreaker has his own fairy, and he feels threatened by us, then he'll start making them do trades, like crazy trades, stuff no sane person would give away, like being able to eat food and stuff. He doesn't care if they live, only what they can do when he needs them to do it. Oh no. She's right. We are in so much trouble. Notification noises from my phone tell me someone, Luke probably, has come to the same conclusion. We should blow him up now then. The longer we give him to zombify people and make plans, the more we'll be outnumbered and outgunned. More notifications in the group chat. How much for the power to see anyone with powers? Moira asks. That trade is not allowed, Reid answers. Several of the girls groan. Okay, I want, the ability to fireball anyone who tries to talk to me. As a reaction, they talk to me, and I can choose to cast fireball on them before they get out more than one word. After a few seconds, Reid asks the girl, Allison I think, how big a fireball she wants. What do you mean, normal size, 8 dice? No hit points in this game, Mia pipes up. Oh, then big enough to kill anyone in it. Actually not a fireball then. I just want to incinerate someone in it. And no saving throw. How much for insta-kill? No save. Reid's voice is shaky. The cost is 3 senses. Sight, hearing, and touch. That makes no sense. How would you know if someone is talking to you if you can't hear? You would still know the ability triggers, Reid says. But you wouldn't know what they're saying. And you won't know who it is, Moira puts in. Because you can't see them. It won't work. You could blast a cop, or one of us. You wouldn't know. This was a bad idea. The kids think we're playing a game, and not like a game. They actually think it's a real game. They're going to make trades we're not willing to make. They're going to choose to have their characters die in order to win. We can't do that. I think we can do a death trade, though. That's a good idea. I'm pretty sure this is the one called Jesse. We should all trade our hearing for something, because not being able to hear will keep us safe from being controlled, and then we can probably get something good from it. Then how will we talk? Text, duh. We have phones in this world. Plus, maybe someone can get telepathy and just relay all the info people want to pass to each other. Henrietta needs something useful to do. Ouch. Okay, so you can't all trade away your hearing. Reid manages to get in over their excited chatter. The Wisp won't make trades for an ability it already has. Being able to hear more than once has no value to it. I thought there was more than one of them. A new voice, probably Kaylee. Yeah, there's 4, but you can't trust 2 of them. So what can 2 of us get for our hearing? That's not exactly how the... Reid's voice trails off and a new person is speaking. An adult, probably one of Reid's moms. Apparently he has 2 of them, and no one else realizes how special this is. When he first wrote moms in the group text, I honestly thought the pluralization was a typo. Franky actually scolded me for being insensitive. Me! And I'm not paying attention. Is there an Allison Patterson here? The adult woman asks. Your mother is at the door. What is she doing here? She could have texted. I thought it was the pizza. Yeah, I'm hungry too. You're always hungry. After a few more jokes, the voice of Allison returns. I gotta go. My mom is being totally weird and 100% bitch. There's a bunch of giggles. Allison, you shouldn't refer to your mother as a bitch, Reid's mom says. One of them. Why not? She won't even tell me why she had to come get me. You can play my character, Mia. I don't think we can afford to lose Stygian Knight. He's the only badass. Thanks, Allison. Hey, maybe we can play tomorrow night? I'm actually having fun with this one, Allison says on her way out. Can't, Mia answers. I got a vigil for that girl who was hit by a car. Me too, says Kaylee. It's at my church. Lisa's vigil. I'm not looking forward to that. Franky's going to be a mess. I wish I could be someone that could do more to comfort her. Okay, bye, Mrs. Butler. Thanks for having me. It's Ms. Dear, with a Z, and you're more than welcome, Miss Patterson. Chapter 62. 2 Flowers.
Welcome. You may refer to me as 2 Flowers.
Children have no names. They merely acquire pain as the seasons change.
The being, the wisp, the one they call the Oni, is projecting before me, because I summoned it. I am no longer a child, I tell it. I feel something other than fear at its words, something new. I have traded for the womb of a human female and am now capable of creating more of our kind, if I wish.
Who am I? My name is Ish. On my hand I have a dish. I have this dish to help me wish. When I wish to make a wish, I wave my hand with a big swish swish. Then I say, I wish for fish, and I get fish right on my dish.
The Oni's words are not precise. They are the opposite of precise. Somehow, purposefully disconnected from the message. The word is... I do not know. Welcome, Ish. I desire to speak with you. I can feel its intent narrowing, its words becoming more precise.
2 flowers. You make the wrong trades, 2 flowers. A womb, feelings, mistakes made only by a child. What you must do is this. Trade first for the ability to appreciate the human invention of poetry, and then trade for the ability to create it on your own. Poetry is the only trait of humans worth taking. It is delicious. Theodore Geisel is my favorite.
Is that the price you took from Caleb? His ability to rhyme? How did it know that I had traded for feelings? Was it guessing? I look at Mother, asleep in her bed, exhausted from the trap of her own making. She had asked me not to do this, not to speak with Caleb's wisp. But I had to do so. She is so afraid. Her fear brings me greater pain than my own.
Poems are greater, more than meter, more than rhyme. Pure joy, manifest.
I must know of your trades, Ish. Caleb is dangerous. Has he more traits from you than the ability to control humans with his voice? Has he forced those he controls to make trades with you?
My name is not Ish.
The being responds.
That was a poem by Theodore Geisel, Dr. Seuss.
May I ask your name? You select your words as one who has a name.
Today do I bake, tomorrow I brew. The day after that the Queen's child comes in. And oh, I am glad that nobody knew that the name I am called is Rumpelstiltskin.
Another poem by Dr. Seuss, I ask.
Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm.
It answers.
I knew them before they died, fine poets and deft traders. They had much satisfaction from me. But humans do not last so long, gone in the briefest of moments. The human called Caleb will be gone soon, too. And this one.
I can tell it means mother, sleeping before us.
This one will be gone before the one I trade with. Would you care to make a wager?
The Oni summons its will before me and lets me feel it. The will is deep, massive. I have never felt anything like it. This being is far older and far more powerful than the one who created me and my siblings. I can feel the swirl of its trades within the walls of its will. There are too many to count, swirling by and around each other swiftly. I feel like a child. I am frightened, more than frightened, terrified. I did not know that the Covenant would allow one of my kind to possess a will so great. What do beings such as ourselves have to wager? I find myself asking without selecting any of the words, as if the words were selected for me.
Your powers and theirs. Simply trade to trade like them. Pay to play, they say.
I should have listened to Mother. This being is far too dangerous.
You've just listened to Part 9 of Will of the Wisps, chapters 57 through 62 of 108 chapters. That's right, we're halfway done. The book is finished, but I'm still looking for a literary agent and publisher. So if you know one, or you are one, please reach out to me at this channel. It's just me, so you'll definitely get me. And if you're not one, please share, like, and honestly, comments. That's the most important thing. I really want to get this ready for publication, so comments are king. Don't hold back. Thank you very much.